it's Kale from Pinnacle. I'm going to do a port tour review, Taino Bay, Puerto Plata Dominican Republic. You can see the gangway behind me. It's really not that long relative to a lot of gangways. I think Costa Maya, that's a really long gangway in Mexico. But looks like there's these little, you know, cart transport things to get over here if you do have mobility issues or are injured or for whatever reason don't want to walk over here. So I'm gonna flip the camera around, kind of show you what's going on in the port, and then afterwards I'm gonna splice together a few clips of spots nearby that I really like that are not a far walk from the port, again assuming that you're capable of walking for, I don't know, 15-20 minutes at a time. So let me flip this around. Look at my fat finger there. So as we get the entrance here, this is where a lot of the tours, you can see the different zones, zones 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc., counting up. If you book a tour through a cruise line, you're probably gonna have one of those tour zones. For reference, it is 2 p.m. right now. And so this is what it's gonna look like in the afternoon. I'm sure those tour things are all full in the morning. Obviously there's a lot fewer tours going out in the afternoon as there's less time to complete the tour before having to get back on the ship. So there should be a little bit more of an active vibe in port over by the Lazy River pool party area, as we'll get to shortly. But in general, compared to a lot of the cruise ports you go to, this is a very nice at the port itself, and I like what you can walk to nearby as well. So here's a little map of Taino Bay, Puerto Plata. See the port goes along the water here, kind of long. And then we're gonna go out of port here towards downtown, and that's where I'm gonna show you a couple spots. So let's get moving here. Let's get moving here. Let's not waste anybody's time. So we see more tours. We have food and drinks, restaurants and shows, a tie-dye store. People enjoying their lunch in a nice shaded area. The Cantina Latina, food and drinks and shows. Bluestone over there. We have some little drink stations, some benches. Again, some nice shade. Shark Attack, looks like a little souvenir shop. / little trinkets, bottle openers, Dominican things. Okay, another Dominican thing store. Museo del Tabaco, the Tobacco Museum over there. Earth, just got Earth. You got the bird experience right here. Avarius. Let's just walk through here.
Sorry, there's a charge to come in here.
Oh, there's a charge to come in here. There you go. There's a charge to come in the bird experience, although there's no signs anywhere indicating that. That's why I'm your boots on the ground, everybody. But as you can see, I guess there was some type of bird in there. Or hopefully for a charge, multiple birds. Got our waste bin area, more bars. You can hear the music getting closer. If I have to cut some things out, it's because YouTube's going to make me because of the music, because of course I do not own that music. So bear with me, guys. I'm just trying to give you a raw little walkthrough. If you were someone walking through this port at a blistering pace so that people can see what's here from the comfort of their own home to decide if this is a port that you're interested in coming to. See if this is a port that you want to book an itinerary to, you know? But in general, it's pretty new. It's pretty clean, right? It's pretty hype. It's in much better repair than a lot of the ports I see. Split decision here. We're going this way. We're going towards the action, everybody. Good thing at home is you guys can turn the volume down if this is too loud. I cannot. Do I sound jaded about music? Yeah, it's a little too loud, you know, but these guys are having fun, so it's a matter of opinion. So as we see here, we have like a pool, shallow lounging area. I'm gonna walk right by my DJ, so people are having a great time. Obviously, please don't knock me in the pool. good video though. So we have this pool area, we have a shower. We have a big Taino Bay gorilla, the blue parrot. And I'm doing my best to walk quickly, give you a rapid tour while trying not to shake the camera too much. It's difficult to walk quickly and keep the quality going. I'm doing my best, guys. All right, another bar. And again, I said this port was long. You pretty much follow it along the water here. Damas y caballeros. Ladies and gentlemen's restrooms. Lots of restrooms around here. Won't have a problem with that. Mojito bar on the right. So it seems like there's a bar just about every 30 steps you take around here. That's cool. There's more shopping on the right, but I'm gonna take this exotic way. You know, if you want to get your hiking steps in. Slight decline. And we're passing, right here is where you can see the entrance. Well, that's not the entrance, but that's one opening of the lazy river. Now, the lazy river, unless they've changed recently, isn't, because depending on what time and when you watch this video, it is complimentary. Unlike the bird watching area, it is complimentary. There is no charge. You simply get in line like these people, although oftentimes, in my experience, I've been to this port several times, there has never been a line like that. But if they're short on tubes, because it's so much fun, I guess you have to wait in line for someone to finish and get a tube. But honestly, maybe that's a 2 p.m. afternoon type of problem. Maybe they're just short on tubes right now and it's unlucky. Maybe it's, I don't know. I've been to this port 3 or 4 times. I've never had to wait for a tube. Just my feedback there. And then we have the other side of the lazy river, which goes along there, and the bar. The lazy river is pretty fun. I would recommend doing it if you're looking to cool off and you want to hang out in port. Again, certain areas are pretty relaxing, and certain areas, say on the other side, can get pretty loud. So, and we're almost through the port here. Another bar, more restrooms, more shops, turquoise sea, or just turquoise, I'm not sure. Sign is hard to read. Silver by the Sea, Dominican things, the reprise, Memories from Paradise. 2 Dominican things, okay. And then we have the obligatory Taino Bay sign, of course. Prove you were here. With the ship behind, happiness comes in waves. So, as you can see, that's a full walkthrough of this tour, of this port, and we get another sign. So that's a walkthrough of the port. Obviously, look, according to my camera, it's taking me 8 minutes to walk from one end to the other. Of course, I'm walking at a faster pace than most. I am going to pause, cut, and then walk a few minutes around this taxi area and get to my local spots and show them to you in a second. Just got through the taxi shakedown. If you decide you want to walk, there will be people offering you taxis insistently, but I'm going to show you what we're kind of walking towards. I'm right outside of the port. You see those towers in the distance? That is the Independence Square. That is the final destination where I'm walking to. I don't anticipate it taking too very long, but of course I will update you. We are now right outside the port. So I'm gonna pause again once we get to Umbrella Street, and then Independence Square. Just some kind of idea of what kind of streets you'll be walking down to get here. You know, got some old buildings in disrepair, but generally it's clean. Generally it's fairly safe. Continuing to walk on this street, the same street that I'll take all the way down pretty much from the port area to Umbrella Street, so it's a very easy walk, very easy to navigate. The Amber Mine and Museum is on the left. I've done that tour several. It starts with a tour, and it's free to enter. There is a tour, so some people decide to tip the tour guide, but that's up to your discretion. And the tour lasts about 10 minutes, and then there's Amber and a gift shop inside, but this is something that's along the way, if that's something that interests you, as we approach Umbrella Street. And then Umbrella Street we have on San Felipe. Here we are. This is known as Umbrella Street. If you type Umbrella Street into Google or this port, this will come up. Have a little square here, vendors selling their little wares, a bar, people playing dominoes, people playing games, food, ceviche and fruits, barbecue, More restaurants. Parrots, of course, because of course there's parrots here. Empanadas. Island life, natural ice cream. Under a beautiful set of flowers and some hopscotch if that's your thing. We've been in Larimar, CA. And yeah, Umbrella Street, it's really short, but it's cute. It's worth taking a little peek for. And then here we basically are. If you turn left at Umbrella Street, you're basically up at the area I was talking about. So I'm gonna skip over to when I get up there. So as we get to the end of the street here, we have the big cathedral on the right. Crossing safely here. And then we have Independence Square. Which last time we were here had a bunch of shops set up. Not shops, but sorry, vendors. Shaded tents all around. I don't know if that was for a special event or not, but this time it's just the square, you know, pigeons feasting on a carcass of somebody's meal. Some statues. In the center of the square is this really cool little tower. You can go down to the bottom, which I'm not gonna go right now. But I think up to the top is pretty neat. So again, I'm gonna try to walk quickly, give you a speed run of this, but look, there's the cruise ship. So this is where you can kind of see, you know, that looks really far away, but I don't think it took me 10 minutes to walk here from the end of the port. So 8 minutes through the port, another 10 minutes. I walk quickly. If you walk slowly and you want to take your time, obviously account for that. But here's Independence Square. And right there across the street is Heladeria Mariposa, which has wonderful ice cream. We had it last time we were there, and there's seating in the back in the shade. There's restrooms in there, and you can also take the stairs up to the top and look, enjoy your ice cream or look out from there. There you go. Feel free to take pictures from the second level. But if you want to take pictures, this second level, it's right here, Independence Park. So yeah, if you're just looking for some things to do, and then from here you can just wander kind of around the square. You know, if you want to try local food, if you want to go into some local shops, you can check them out. But, you know, I'm going to kind of relax, explore, look around, and then I'm going to make my way back to the port and eventually make my way back to the ship. So, thanks so much for watching this tour. If this is the first time watching my channel, please consider liking it if you enjoyed the video. If you watched to the end, I really appreciate it. If you don't mind subscribing or sharing with whoever you think might be interested in this, it would really help out. So thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one. If you have extra energy and you want to do a bonus quest, I'm going to show you right off here. So that is Independence Square, where I just came from. If you want to enjoy, you just keep walking down this side street towards what we can already see is the water. And we can see again the water in the distance is not too far, but the street we're walking down is Jose del Carmen Ariza. Alright, this car's turning, using their turn signal, we like that, so we'll let them. Motorcycle's going, so we're gonna cross as well. This way is a little bit more off the beaten track, obviously, but if you like to be around locals and you like to see the local way of life and things like that, you're gonna have to get to experience that. I have been to this port many times and I've experienced no trouble or difficulty, but again, your mileage may vary, as we say. So, you can see the water ahead. So as I was just about getting to the water, we have, not Umbrella Street, but now it's pretty much the kite version. Which is another cool side street here. The street name is Sanchez. The intersection of Jose del Carmen Ariza is Sanchez, right? And there's a little restaurant right here. But basically we're almost all the way to the water. So if you have some more time after the Independence Square and you're not tired or you want to take the long way and you want to get closer to the water and heading over towards where the fort is over here, this is an extra add-on you can add. So then after safely and deliberately crossing that street, we have arrived here. Basically just along the water. The port is going to be this way. If we go the other direction instead, there are apparently a bunch of beaches down there. I have not been to them. Instead we have all of these different fishing boats off the side, and we can take this path along the water to get to the area where the fort is, which is directionally correct to get back to the port. We just stay along the water here. So I'll show you in a second. As we keep walking, we walk by the, of course, ever popular Puerto Plata sign, where a tour is including a nice picture there. And now we kind of take a right towards, the port is right just over there. If you look above this bus, you can even see the ship. And instead, we're just gonna go to a little peninsula over here in the corner where there's grassy areas and where the fort is. So see you in a second. See this very old school looking playground equipment as things start to become more modern. More equipment, a little area to rest and relax, and then we have an outdoor amphitheater on the left. Little water watchtower up there. You can see the edges of the cruise ship actually in the background, and then up ahead is the fort. We'll get a little bit closer. There you can see the ship in the background again. There's the fort. It looks like there's some kind of kids field trip today. And then General Gregorio Luperon. I'm sure he's important. And I'll walk around to a little bit of a vantage point over here to see the ship and the port in general. So from this grassy corner, we have beautiful views of the water. There's the port, the cruise ship. Here's the little fort. There is an entrance admission for that. I believe it's a couple $. I have not been inside. There are also some ruins of an older fort up there at the top of the hill with that tower. And yeah, we'll make my way back towards the port. Past the fort, up near the ruins, there's a bunch of local vendors who are set up here every single time I've been here. So if you want to look for some local things, you brought cash. It's a good spot to check out. Some abandoned cannons, people resting and relaxing, the amphitheater, and again, some older ruins of the rest of the fort. Then you can simply exit, take this path, watch your step on the descension, and where that orange car is going, we'll meet back up at the road that takes you directly to the cruise port. That will lead you down this street where the flags and the sign for Puerto Plata are. You can see in the distance. Alternatively, if you'd like a safer and maybe slightly nicer walk, you can just double back to where the sign was originally. So you just go back down that path, past all the playground equipment and stuff like that, and you will end up at this sign. Again, the silver Puerto Plata sign with the flags. And then from there, we're gonna take this right, and it's gonna take us right back to the cruise port. So again, thank you so much for watching, joining me along for this free walking guide and port guide. If you want to engage with me again, like, comment, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys in the next one.